Good morning, Man Hour Nation. NFL playoffs are officially set. We have all 6 games lined up for Saturday, Sunday, and of course, Monday. We're going to talk about those. We're going to preview those just a little bit. Yo, Black Monday has taken some casualties. The casualty train has been active, right? We're going to talk about some coaches' opportunities, some hirings that have happened. But first. And now, Mike's thoughts. Man Hour Nation, we'd like to give a huge congratulations to the Michigan Wolverines. The Michigan Wolverines decided to mess around and win a championship last night. The Michigan Wolverines decided to mess around and whoop those candy asses of the Washington Huskies. Now, when I go into work today, here this afternoon, I work with tons of Michigan fans. I work with a corporation that is based out of Detroit, Michigan. So a lot of people come down from up north into our southern territories and try to invade that Big Ten crap in this ACC country. But it is what it is. But I just want to put a shout out there, guys. You guys had a damn good season. Undefeated season. Beat Ohio State again for like the 3rd or 4th year in a row. Zin, y'all need to figure yourselves out up there, the big Buckeye State, man. Come on. I send you off from my little plateau here in southern Indiana. We get you to the big time, Zin. You can't even beat Michigan now. Slow it down, baby. Slow it down. Slow it down, baby. But congratulations to Michigan. You guys have probably officially lost your coach now. Jim Harbaugh rubs people the wrong way. And he runs about 3-4 years, and then it's time for him to carry onward, my way, son, as the old people like to say. But congratulations to Michigan. The college football season is now officially over. Now it's time for playoffs and draft. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
On the beat every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know, coming to the sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, to listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckeye here with the Man Hour Show over manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page. Check out the blog section. Check out the old stat section that just got released yesterday, guys. Check out the new and improved manhourradio.com. When I say new and improved, we are literally newing it and then improving it each and every day. I have a 2024 outlook that I want to achieve. Each day got different objectives that I want to achieve, and we got the new objective rolled out last night. So slow it down, baby. Let's have some fun. But, guys, we are streaming on multiple platforms today, but one of our key platforms right now is facebook.com/Man Hour NFL Talk. But if you're over on TikTok, if you're over on IG, if you're over on Twitter, if you're over on Millions, if you're listening to Big X on Big X Sports Radio 96.1 here in Jeffersonville, Indiana, come on over to facebook.com or youtube.com, whatever. Those are the comments that I can readily see right in front of me. They're nice and easy to gather, nice and easy to, get. So I like interacting with you guys on that. Speaking of which, you better pop out the chat. But guys, Black Monday has come and it has gone. And there are some key firings that have happened. There's also some interviews that have been set up. Also, the playoff picture is finally set in stone. Yes, it was set in stone on Sunday night and Monday, but we're going to talk about it today. We're going to preview those games coming up over this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We're not going to pick winners or losers. We're going to simply preview it. We're going to talk that shit. We're going to preview it. But if you guys are in the comments, comment below, #ManHourLive. Give us some love. I need to fix my stuff here. But let's go ahead and get this party started. As you guys know, there have been a lot of movements across the landscape here on the NFL on Black Monday. What Black Monday is, for you people that are new and don't quite understand what Black Monday is, basically it is once the final game of the NFL season happens, firings start happening. Head coaches lose their job. Defensive coordinators lose their job. Offensive coordinators lose their job. People walk away. People retire, right? Because in the NFL, in college, in high school, right, the minute the season ends, you are looking forward to the next season, right? My seniors are gone. My juniors are now seniors. Everybody's moving up. I'm looking at the 8th grade class, looking at the 7th grade class, see what's going on for my future. Did this coach work? Did this coach work? What changes do I want to make as a head coach, right? So Black Monday is a very, very turmoil time for a lot of families, for a lot of coaches, for a lot of this and like a lot of that. But the NFL is a business at the end of the day. Coaching and football in general is a business at the end of the day. So things have to happen. So Arthur Smith was one of the first casualties of Black Friday. At 12:02 a.m., fresh after the Saints lost, the minute they landed back in Atlanta, Arthur Smith got summons to the principal's office and said, "It's been real, it's been fun, but see you later, alligator," right? Obviously, the Bills' offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey, got fired back in November 14th. Boy, things have changed since then, since Joe Brady has taken over, right? Panthers obviously fired Frank Wright earlier this season, along with Deuce Staley and Josh McCown, running back coach and quarterback coach. Got openings there. Jags defensive coordinator Mike Caldwell has stepped away. When I say stepped away, he was asked to leave the building. He was escorted out by security because he was fired as well. Raiders head coach Josh McDaniel was fired earlier this season. Chargers head coach Brandon Stanley was also fired earlier this season. And the Commanders head coach Ron Riverboat Rivera has been removed from his duties as well. None of them are kind of a surprises as of top of the domes here, but 3 or 4 of these teams have already started to request interviews for some people to take their head coaching responsibilities. First team that I want to talk about here are the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers have reached out to about 6 or 7 people to interview for their head coaching position. They have reached out to Brian Callahan, which is the Bills offensive coordinator. They've reached out to Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator. They've reached out to Dave Cannells, the Buccaneers offensive coordinator. They've also reached out to Mike McDaniels, the Ravens defensive coordinator, Todd Monken, the Ravens offensive coordinator, Raheem Morris, the Rams defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn, the Cowboys defensive coordinator, and Frank Smith, which is the offense coordinator for the Miami Dolphins. So when we look at the Carolina Panthers, guys, I want to look at their head coaching spot, but we also need to look at the quarterback spot, right? First of all, if I'm the Carolina Panthers right now, I'm going to exclude all defensive coordinators. Yeah, I want to talk to you, see what you can bring, but let's just be honest, you're on the outside looking in. Dan Quinn, outside looking in. Raheem Morris, outside looking in. I drafted a quarterback #1 overall last season. I moved up. I gave away 3 first-round picks to get this guy. So I need an offensive guru, offensive mind to bring into Carolina to grow Bryce Young. And when I think of that, there are a couple things that I think about right off the bat. 2 things that I think about. What type of player does Bryce Young remind me of? Is he a pocket quarterback? Is he a scrambler? Is he an athlete that uses his legs to make plays, right? Obviously, guys, Bryce Young is a shorter stature quarterback. So when I think about this, I'm thinking of other quarterbacks that are kind of short statured quarterback where said person has had success, right? And Buccaneers offensive coordinator Dave Cannells comes to mind. Dave Candles comes to mind as a perfect fit for the Carolina Panthers because we've seen what he has done with Baker Mayfield this season. Baker Mayfield is on a shorter stature type of quarterback. He has had some success, and I think that would also be a really, really good mix, right? Next up would be Todd Monken, the Ravens offensive coordinator. He has really taken the athlete of Lamar Jackson, molded into what could be one of the best quarterbacks we have seen in a very, very long time, since Michael Vick, right? With the ability to run and scramble, but still want to throw the ball. Todd Monken has taken Lamar Jackson from here to here in just 6 or 7 months. I think he would do the same thing for Bryce Young moving forward. So out of those 9 coaches that were listed, I think pretty much it is a 2-horse race for the Carolina Panthers if they are smart. Todd Monken for the Ravens offensive coordinator and Dave Candles, the Buccaneers offensive coordinator, would be 2 picks that I would like to see. Now, obviously, the Chargers fired their head coach as well. The Chargers are kind of in a weird turmoil state. You're like, is Justin Herbert our guy? We are $80-some million over the cap. We are going to have to trim fat. We're going to have to start young. So therefore, we're going to need a good draft. We're going to have to rely on our defense. Our offense has been struggling. Is it because of the play calling? Who knows? But at the end of the day, the Chargers have been missing some type of swagger, some type of grit, some types of this, right? The Chargers have reached out to 5 names out there as well to interview for their head coaching opportunities. Aaron Glenn was the number 1 on their list, Lions defensive coordinator. Ben Johnson is second on their list, Lions offensive coordinator. And then they have Todd Monken as well that they reached out to, the Ravens offensive coordinator. They also reached out to Dan Quinn, the Cowboys defensive coordinator, and Steve Wilks, which is the 49ers defensive coordinator. When we see Steve Wilks' name out there, we're like, whoa. We see the success that DeMeco Ryans is having in Houston. Can Steve Wilks go out there with a young quarterback in Justin Herbert, right? In a defense that is aged, can he do some tricks? Can he pull some strings? Can he get better? Who knows? But one thing that I think that the Chargers have been lacking for a very, very long time is the grit factor. And I think you want to go with the team that has a grit factor backing the last couple years, and that's the Detroit Lions. Aaron Glenn or Ben Johnson, I think, should be your top candidates in Chargerland. I think one of those 2 players or one of those 2 coaches would be great for Chargers. Change that culture. Take what Dan Quinn has been doing up in Detroit, bring it down to LA, and Chiefs don't want that smoke. Raiders don't want that smoke. Broncos don't want that smoke, but I like Ben Johnson to the LA Chargers. I like it. My man Jay says Ben Johnson won't even consider a poverty team. The Fords are paying him well. Now, Aaron Glenn, on the other hand, he can go if he wants. Listen, Jay, at the end of the day, if I have aspirations to be a head coach, if I want to be a head coach, even though life is good, let's take Eric Bieniemy, right? Life was pretty damn good in Kansas City. You had the greatest quarterback of all time. The offense was unstoppable, putting up 30 points every damn game. Super Bowl ring, hardware, but he wants to be a head coach. He wanted to get past that shadow of Andy Reid is carrying you, right? The simple fact of the matter is if Ben Johnson wants to be a head coach, he has to strike right now. The iron is hot for Ben Johnson right now. The iron is hot for Ben Johnson. Now, the Washington Commanders, they fired Red Veron. Now, the Washington Commanders are a weird team right now to really try to put a peg of like what we think they should do, what they're going to do, whatever, right? The reason because of that is the Washington Commanders owner is the Philadelphia 76 owner as well, or part owner, however they figure it out. He is the majority owner. And you guys remember what they did in Philly. You remember what the Philadelphia 76ers did. They trust the process, right? They traded away everybody. They compiled picks. They got more picks. They got more picks, and they trust the process. And then bada bing, bada boom, they were in the championship or playoffs or whatever. I don't follow NBA that closely, but they were obviously doing well, right? So where do the Washington Commanders stand? Are they going to, quote, trust the process? Are they going to be a 3, 4 year, 5 year rebuild team? Are they going to be a team that wants to make a big splash right now? They have reached out to Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson, both coordinators for the Detroit Lions. They reached out to Mike McDonald, Ravens defensive coordinator, Raheem Morris, Rams defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn, Cowboys defensive coordinator, and Anthony Weaver, which is Rams assistant head coach / defensive line coach. One name that is not on that list is Eric Bieniemy. I think everything in Washington coaching staff-wise is out. Everything with the old regime in Washington is out. So they're probably going to look for that next young, hot coach. They're going to look for that coach that is going to be able to weather the storm next year, the year after that. And then year 3 is when they're like, hey, system's in there. Let's start to make that push. So I don't think Aaron Glenn wants to go through that. I don't think Ben Johnson wants to go through that. Dan Quinn definitely doesn't want to go through that. Anthony Weaver, I don't know much about him whatsoever, but I feel he probably doesn't want to do that. So when it comes down to it, I think Raheem Morris is the perfect fit for the Washington Commanders. He is a young coach, he's a hungry coach, and he is going to expect the best out of his players, right? Expect the best. Now, the Las Vegas Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders have a general manager opening and a head coaching opening as well. They have not reached out to any head coaches yet. They have not reached out to any head coaches yet. They reached out to Trey Brown, Bengals senior personnel executive for general manager role, Ed Dobbs, the Colts assistant general manager, and Terrence Gray, the Bills director of player personnel, all for the general manager role. But they have not reached out to Bill Belichick yet. But they have not reached out to Jim Harbaugh yet. But they haven't reached out to Antonio Pierce yet. By them having no head coaches on their search right now tells me two things. One, they pretty much have their coach in mind. They have their coach in mind. We want this guy. We just haven't had time to make him an offer yet. We want this general manager. We just really haven't had time to make him an offer yet. Maybe we're going to see what they were doing in New England. Guys, I think Bill Belichick is coming to Las Vegas. I think Bill Belichick will be the new general manager of the Las Vegas Raiders. I think Bill Belichick will be the new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Right now, they're just dotting their I's and crossing their T's. They're hoping that the New England Patriots fire or Bill Belichick resigns at the end of the day, because you can't really tamper. There's tampering charges that cost you like a third or fourth round pick. So they're just waiting to see what happens in New England. Now, we all heard the reports that Bill Belichick is willing to take a role cut in New England to stay in New England, a.k.a. no longer be the general manager. But with that being said, Raiders Nation, I know we got some Raiders fans in the chat. Would you guys be willing to trade for a head coach like Bill Belichick? Would you guys be willing to trade for a general manager like Bill Belichick? Because I think Bill Belichick is going to those guys. But let's jump into the chat here. We got my man Jim Powell. We got David. We got Katie. We got Caroline all in the chat. But let's go ahead and jump back into the chat here. Jay says, if Ben Johnson wants to go, he will get his pick to where he wants to go. That's a big if. Ford's got that money, bruh. I work for Ford. They do got that money. They got billions of dollars of money. But if the Detroit Lions lose in the first round, that's a big if. Very good possibility, but it's a big if. There has never been a playoff win at Ford Field. He might be out. Davids says Chargers in the house. That's where Ben Johnson's going. Chargers. Jim Powell says, I heard a very interesting stat this morning. Detroit has one less game since 1957 than they did in 1957. I'm confused by that. But hey, maybe next year. Maybe next year since 1957. Merch is at manoutradio.com. Check it out. Jim says, ain't no damn way Bill Belichick is coming to Las Vegas. Ain't no way. Let me ask you this question, Jim. You are a Raiders guy. You are through and through Oakland, Los Angeles, Las Vegas Raiders. Maybe next year they'll move to, I don't know, Mississippi Raiders. So you get the 4 Quatruco, or whatever you want to call it. Would you rather have Jim Harbaugh, which was an assistant for the Las Vegas Raiders, 20, 30 years ago, right? Which he's had success everywhere he's went. Stanford, 49ers, Michigan. Wasn't he a coach like at Utah State, BF4? He has had success everywhere he went. But Jim Harbaugh lasts about 5-6 years, and then he rubs the people wrong so much that it's just time for him to move on. So basically, you'll get Jim Harbaugh for about 6 years. Then you'll lose him to the Kansas City Chiefs or wherever, right? Or do you want Bill Belichick? 70-some-odd years old, right? Maybe get 6 years out of him as well. But you get the proven track record of Bill Belichick as well. But you potentially get more free agents to come to Las Vegas because they want to play with Bill Belichick, arguably the greatest coach of all time. It is a double-edged sword there. It is damned if you do, damned if you don't, either way in Las Vegas. I don't think you can go wrong with Jim Harbaugh or Bill Belichick, but we know that both of them are probably going to go in the last 5 to 6 years tops. So you have to turn it around right now, and that dynasty would have to start day one, March 12th, the first day of the NFL season. Can it happen? Can it happen? Caroline says, no, wrong. Antonio Pierce is here to stay in Vegas. Listen, I like what Antonio Pierce did in Las Vegas the last 7 games, right? Obviously had that team very, very hungry and wanting to win a lot of games. Came into Arrowhead versus my Kansas City Chiefs and whooped that ass. Granted, their offense only scored six points, but they still won. Was it 20-21 or 20-17, whatever the score was? That was their Super Bowl. They had a chance to win the playoffs, but beating the Kansas City Chiefs was the notch in their helmet. They don't care about nothing. We don't care about beating the Colts to stay in the playoff hunt. We don't care about the Chargers at the end of the season. It doesn't matter, right? Or Broncos, whoever the hell they played last game of the season. It didn't matter. They played the Broncos. But I think Antonio Pierce will be a good coach somewhere, just not in Las Vegas. Because he has that. There's a such thing as showing too much love for a job. There's a such thing as showing too much, I really want to be here. I really want to fight for the guys. I really want to change the culture. And Antonio Pierce almost sounds too eager, right? It is like when a guy and a girl first meet. The guy is super eager, texting her good morning every day. And the girl's like, whoa, dude, we just met. Slow the F down, right? Like, we've been on a date. Like, I know we're kind of exclusive, but slow it down, right? Slow it down. I'm still talking to 3 or 4 other guys over here. Slow it down, baby. That's what Antonio Pierce is doing to the Las Vegas Raiders right now. He's coming on too strong. He's being a little too clingy. He doesn't understand, like, hey, this is a feeling out process for the last seven weeks, right? I still got to go through the interview process. I still got to lay my cards out still, right? He's already laid out his cards. He already shown that he wants to be there no matter what. So Katie's in the chat says, Buck, did you get snow? No. It's like 60 degrees here. 60 and sunny. Beautiful. Bud Hedward says no. No to what? No to Bill Belichick going to Vegas, Bud? I'm getting caught up in the chat, so I don't know what you're referring to. Hoffy isn't here to direct me this morning. He's got Snoop's doctor appointment, so he'll be back tomorrow as well. Caroline says, Antonio Pierce gave hints to he's staying in 2024 because he says see you in 2024. Listen, Antonio Pierce can say what he wants, when he wants, how he wants. Technically, we did see him in 2024 versus the Colts and versus the Broncos, right? Technically, we did see him in 2024. But at the end of the day, whoever the owner is, Davis, it's not Al Davis, it's terrible haircut Davis, he has a say. Antonio Pierce can say whatever he wants. He can say, when I lead the Raiders to the Super Bowl, I'm going to put the Super Bowl ring on the flame and it's always going to live forever. Okay, you're not even our coach. Get out of here with that. Get out of here, crap. Bud says Antonio Pierce. Antonio Pierce is a no for Vegas, he says. Jay says, I got to head out, but just let me say this before I go. As much as this sales pays me, he says, F. John Matthew Stafford. It's golf time, baby. Hey, Matthew Stafford has never won a playoff game at Ford Field. Maybe it will continue. Maybe. Katie says, I love how my Chiefs play, but if we get a wide receiver that can catch the ball, I would be happy. We'll be talking about the Chiefs very, very soon here. Caroline says, did the players believe in him like the Raiders owner needs to believe in him to make a good choice? Caroline, Jim, John, all you Raiders fans out there, there are three things that the Las Vegas Raiders do very, very, very well. They love to talk and pump up their team as much as they can. Now, obviously, Jerry Jones is a GOAT at pumping up his team, making his team one of the most hated teams out there. But the Davises, they try to mimic, right? They also try to put on a very, very, very good show. Put on a great atmosphere, build a $1 billion stadium in the middle of Las Vegas, Nevada, have a beautiful flame. It's a great atmosphere for visiting players to come in or visiting fans to come in and make the Raiders feel like they're there on the road. They also have a great ability of trying to talk up their said coach. They have a great ability of trying to bring in the best guys to win right here, right now. And they have done that in the past. But the Raiders lack the skill, the knowledge, the whatever you want to refer to it. They lack the ability to think 3, 4, 5 years down the road. The Raiders and the Davises say, what's in front of us? Oh, it's a big pie. Let me eat that. But right behind that pie can be a dog ready to crunch your face. But they're like, nope, I still want that pie. Give me that pie. The dog's going to pounce on you and destroy you once you eat that pie. But damn it, they got the pie. What makes a franchise like the Chiefs, like the Packers, like the, hell, you can put the Philadelphia Eagles like in there, right? They have the ability to look beyond that pie. They have the ability to say, oh, we can win a Super Bowl right now, but that dog is going to maul us for the next 15 years, or we can slow roll it, go to an NFC championship, chip game, lose it, win some more, get a couple Super Bowls in 5, 6 years, and then, right? Just that is the difference between the Chiefs and the Raiders. That's the difference between the Patriots and the Raiders. The Raiders wants instant satisfaction, and the Chiefs and the Patriots and the Cowboys and the Packers, they see the long term. A good person, a good owner, a good GM looks 3, 4, 5 years down the road. My man, John's in the chat. What's up, John? He says, anybody have Belichick's win-loss record as a head coach without Tom Brady as a starting quarterback? Serious question. I'm just curious. I don't know what his record is without Tom Brady. I believe it's a losing record, if I'm not mistaken. But you do have to realize he was a head coach at the Cleveland Browns, right? And then on the flip side of the coin, when he did go to New England, he was starting to turn that franchise around. He had Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe happened to get hurt during their first Super Bowl / playoff run under Bill Belichick. So Tom Brady did fall into a perfect situation with the Patriots and Bill Belichick. So yes, obviously Tom Brady is very, very, very good, right? But to say that Bill Belichick has never won a Super Bowl without Tom Brady, that is technically true. But I think with Drew Bledsoe, that year, they probably would have won the Super Bowl as well. But I will do some fact checking there, John, and I will see what Bill Belichick's win-loss record is without Tom Brady. But I'm pretty sure it is a losing record. I feel like at some point I saw like 15-35 or something like that. But I'm just pulling stuff out of my butt at that particular point. So I will engage and let you guys know. Jim says, if they were not fishing for a coach, why is Pierce not wearing the crown? Because they are fishing for a coach. It's between two people. It's between Jim Harbaugh and Bill Belichick. The only reason why Antonio Pierce will have an interview is because of the Rooney Rule. They already got their guy. They're just waiting for the coins to lie. Getting ready for the coins to fall, right? No, not Bill. No to Bill. Bud says no to Bill. No Bill Belichick and Ravens, says Bud. My man Ann is in the chat. He says, I don't know the exact numbers, but I can guarantee you that it ain't good. I know that for sure. I will look up the numbers post-show, and I will post it on our Facebook page, guys. So let me write down those notes. Say Bill Belichick's record without Tom Brady. Do we want it with Tom Brady as well? With Brady, without Brady. Wrote down the notes, and I will do the fact-checking and probably post about 1:30 to 2 o'clock. Because after the show, I like to sit down, relax, and get ready for work. Caroline says, I just want the owner to get the Raiders a good head coach. That's all I want for the team to do good. They deserve it. Do the Raiders really deserve to be successful, though? Do they? They abandoned their city, L.A., moved to Oakland. Grass is greener on the other side. Develop a great cult following in Oakland. The Black Hole, it was just a gritty, nasty place to play. Really home field advantage. Then he's like, you know what? I miss home. Let's go back to L.A. Share a stadium with the, was it the Rams? They share the stadium with for a couple years there. Yeah, L.A., it's been real. It's been fun. Grass is greener on the other side. Honestly, if there's any team out there that deserves to be just good enough to never get a number 1 overall pick, just good enough to always be, just bad enough to always be missing the playoffs, a team that is just there, they fire a coach every other year, it's the Las Vegas Raiders. Honestly, the Las Vegas Raiders should be the most cursed team in the NFL. They moved from LA to Oakland, back to LA to Vegas. Where are they going to go next? Back to St. Louis, and then, we miss LA. Like, the Raiders don't deserve anything. They don't deserve nothing at all. Just like the Arizona Cardinals, they don't deserve nothing at all. They fired a first-year head coach that had arguably one of the worst teams ever with a rookie quarterback in Josh Rosen. Both of them cut out to dry after like 9 weeks. Yes, they did. They bring in Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury, right? And they had a minor success, but the Raiders, the Cardinals should never be successful again in the NFL ever. Ever. Jerry who? Jerry freaking Jones, the greatest owner. Greatest owner ever. Caroline says, if I had to pick between two that you're talking about that would go to the Raiders, I would take Jim Harbaugh over Bill Belichick. looking long term, Jim Harbaugh is 60, Bill Belichick is 70. If we follow the track record of Jim Harbaugh, about 6-7 years, then he's out, right? 6-7 years in San Francisco, he's out. 6-7 years in Michigan, he is out. 6-7 years at Stanford, he is out, right? 80 is what it is. Jim says, it has never been the grass is greener. It's always about Al standing up to the NFL. How is Al Davis standing up to the NFL by saying, I'm going to move my franchise to Oakland, back to LA, to Vegas, back to Cali, coming home to Cali. Listen, I've seen the whole experts or the 30 for 30 of like Al Davis, right? Of how he's been wanting to move to Vegas forever, and the NFL's like, no, we can't do that. Whatever. Jim says, come on, man. Did you take your prescription cough syrup this morning? I did. I'm on the codeine. Always. But guys, those are some coaching vacancies that are open. Great conversation as always, guys, here on the Man Hour. But let's get into the NFL playoff picture. Let's look at the playoffs. The playoffs are now obviously set. They are good to go here starting Saturday afternoon at 4:30. And it is the Houston Texans taking on the Cleveland Browns. This is a game that is kind of intriguing. Right? Kind of? Is it? Besides the Houston Texans fans, is there anybody out there that legitimately think that the Cleveland Browns will lose to the Texans? I feel right now that the Cleveland Browns are kind of like on this Super Bowl or bust mission, right? They're on this stop us if you can. Houston Texans, you guys don't have a chance. Now, earlier, obviously, in the season, the Browns did beat down the Houston Texans. They did not have C.J. Stroud for that particular game. The Cleveland is favored at 2.5 points going into this week's game. Browns are 11-6, and Houston Texans are 10-7. Joe Flacco is the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, and C.J. Stroud is the quarterback for the Houston Texans. Nico Collins is the leading wide receiver for the Texans, and Amari Cooper is the leading receiver for the Browns. Guys, when we look at this game, is this game intriguing to anybody? Obviously, to the average NFL fan, you're like, Browns, Texans? What? But this game is very, very intriguing because if the Houston Texans can win this game, they will have an opportunity to play the Ravens, barring an upset of the Dolphins over the Chiefs or the Steelers over the Bills, right? The Ravens will play the lowest remaining seed in the playoffs. So we're just going to speculate that the top team wins. If the Houston Texans guys win this game, do we see a start of a dynasty happening in Houston? Do we see the crown being shifted from the Kansas City Chiefs 6-year run with Patrick Mahomes and Eric Bieniemy and like all those guys? Do we start to see the crown being lifted off their head? Tease it with the Dolphins, tease it with the Buffalo Bills, give it to the Houston Texans? Do the Houston Texans just need one playoff win to really get that momentum going for them? That is why this game is intriguing to me. I'm intrigued to see what happens to the Houston Texans if they do win this game. Do they go into Baltimore? Do they just shit the bed? Or is their confidence sky high and they battle, right? A lot of things could happen. Also, another intriguing side on this are the Cleveland Browns. Right? The Cleveland Browns are on a state right now where their starting running back, Nick Chubb, out for the season. They are on this path where their starting quarterback, Deshaun Watson, $58 million man himself, is out for the season. If the Cleveland Browns win this game, what do you do with Deshaun Watson moving forward? Is Joe Flacco your starter? Is Deshaun Watson your starter? What do you do with Nick Chubb? Is Ford our guy? He carried the load all season long. He did pretty damn good. pretty damn cheap. Nick Chubb. He's a really good guy. Really good runner. Cost a little bit more. It is like when you get a Honda or a Ford, they both get 30 miles a gallon. They both give you to point A to point B. Ford's a $60,000 car and a Honda's a $20,000 car. What am I going to go with? I'm going to go with the Honda, right? It is what it is. But guys, Browns versus Texans. First things first is who do you guys got winning, and is this game intriguing to you or not? Caroline says, I got a question. The thing for you to look up, you can look up at the last time what the rookie head coach and rookie quarterback made it to the playoffs. I'm just curious. I do remember seeing a stat about that, Caroline, the rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, and I believe it was the Pittsburgh Steelers. Wasn't it Mike Tomlin and Ben Roethlisberger? Wasn't it? I believe they actually won the Super Bowl that year, if I'm not mistaken. But I will look that up, and I will let you guys know. Next game on the Saturday docket, Miami Dolphins traveling to Arrowhead to take on the Kansas City Chiefs, both 11-6 team. 11-6 teams here. Miami Dolphins are 4-4 on the road, and the Chiefs are 5-4 at home. What? The Kansas City Chiefs are 5-4 at home this season? What? Whatever. Catch the freaking ball. But the Chiefs are favored in this game for 4 points. And this is a battle of two teams that have been kind of lackluster all season long, right? These are a battle of two teams where we thought this was going to be the AFC Championship preview. We are getting a rematch of Germany, which never should have happened. Me and my man Arthur Brown should have been in freaking Miami watching this like game, but we slow it down. Still pissed off about that. But the Chiefs are a team that has not played a full game all season long. The Kansas City Chiefs have been just misfiring all season long. The Miami Dolphins were clicking very, very, very well. Tyreek Hill was on MVP level. Tua was on an MVP level. Injuries have snuck up on the Dolphins, and they're starting to bite them in the ass a little bit. Their defense, I think, 40% of their starters are out for the season. Tyreek Hill in a boot, sore back. Waddle could possibly be back. Mostert probably going to miss this game. But to me, guys, this game is intriguing because I want to see if either team can get on track. I want to see if the Chiefs can put together a full game. I want to see if the Miami Dolphins can finally rebound of all these injuries and figure themselves out. I do think the winner of this game can upset the Ravens. Now, obviously, it's going to be in Baltimore, right? But I think the winner of this game can both beat the Buffalo Bills and both can battle against the Baltimore Ravens in the upcoming game. So potentially, in a roundabout way, this game could determine the Super Bowl. This game between the Dolphins and the Chiefs could determine what team is going to the AFC or to the Super Bowl to represent the AFC. Could. I'm going to clip that part and clickbait you guys into getting all pissed off and worked up about it, but it could happen, right? Stay tuned to that for tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be out there. But if the Dolphins start to boom, 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 boom again, if the Chiefs start to boom, 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 boom once all season long, it's contagious. It's contagious. Very, very intriguing. Packers versus the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are 12-5 on the season. Packers are 9-8 on the season. Cowboys are 7.5-point favorite going into this NFC wildcard game on Fox at 4:30 in the afternoon. This game, people are wanting the Packers to win this game. The haters, 49ers fans, Detroit Lions fans, Philadelphia Eagles fans want the Packers to win this game. Do you know why they want the Packers to win this game? Do you know why the San Francisco 49ers want the Packers to win this game? Do you know why the Detroit Lions want the Green Bay Packers to win this game? Do you know why the Eagles want the Green Bay Packers to win this game? Because they know once the Cowboys start to roll, they are an unstoppable force. Once the Dallas Cowboys win this wild card game, be their third wild card win in 4 years, it will be, quote, getting over the hump there, right? And then the Detroit will have to come into town, barring they don't get upset by the Rams. And once the Cowboys whoop the Detroit Lions' ass again, that's right, again, the 49ers are going to be shaking in their boots. 49ers fans, Lions fans, Eagles fans, Buccaneers fans, you guys want the Green Bay Packers to win this game because once the Cowboys win, they ain't going to be stopped, baby. They ain't going to be stopped. Unstoppable force, says Jim. Yeah, an unstoppable freaking force, baby. The Dallas Cowboys are like a car, right? Say your car is in neutral and you got to push it because the battery's dead. Like, you got to push it down the street to go to your neighbor's house and, like, get the jump, right? The first 6, 7 steps, you're like, man, this is so freaking heavy. But once the momentum starts going, the wheels start spurning, it is hard to stop that thing. You got to sprint, jump in there, ride it, and slam on the brakes, and hopefully you have enough brake pressure to stop it before you hit the next car in front of you. That is what the Dallas Cowboys are going to be in the playoffs. They might look a little sluggish against the Green Bay Packers because Packers, right? The Packers. They're still going to win. But then the Detroit Lions coming to town. Hearing all the chatter all week long. Eligible. Don't run that play again because we're waiting for it. But yeah, Cowboys are an unstoppable force. Caroline says Dallas is at home. There is no way that the Dallas Cowboys are going to win when they're playing at home. I said force. Force, i.e. fake. 10 soldiers. Oh, farce. My bad. They're not farce. They're force. Force of nature. Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo, New York. The Buffalo Bills are 11-6 AFC East champions, taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers at 10-7, back in the playoffs again. What? Where did they come from? Buffalo Bills are favored by 10 points in this game. Do we potentially see an upset happening, guys? Do we potentially see the Pittsburgh Steelers ending the Buffalo Bills season at home in the playoffs? Playoffs. Do we see it happening? I don't know. Then we had the Rams take it on the Lions. Lions are 12-5 of this season. Rams are 10-7. Detroit Lions are a 3.5-point favorite as of right now. First playoff game ever at Ford Field. Do you guys remember the last time the Detroit Lions had a first home game this season? They welcomed the Seattle Seahawks into town. First Monday night game in forever, right? Whatever. They lost that game. First playoff game in Ford Field ever. I don't know. It is what it is. Then we have the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Eagles are 11-6, and the Buccaneers are 9-8 NFC South champs. The Eagles are a 3-point favorite in this game. Do the Bucs have a chance? Who knows? But guys, that is going to be it for today's show. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We're going to be talking about the AFC. We're going to be breaking down those games. I'm going to give you guys 3 ways of how each team can win said game. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Tomorrow is AFC Wednesday. We're going to break down those playoffs. We're going to talk about it. And Caroline says, I hope Tampa Bay beats the Eagles. Jim says, Eagles come alive. See you guys tomorrow. We out. Little man's getting on the bus. I got to do it. Bye.